is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. Still on the tiny home kick. If you don't want it, you can go ahead and head out now. Like, honestly, I'm sorry. I'm really enjoying the tiny homes, and I actually had one of you lovely people recommend a small little Mediterranean home, so that is exactly what this is. So this is technically a tier 3 home. I tried very hard to make it a tiny home. However, making this kind of like little breezeway, I guess we're gonna call it, with the arches here, like that is fully not really that functional. It's honestly just for decoration, but it added so many tiles that I was like, you know what, we're just gonna make it a small home. So this is a tier 3 home, which still has its own set of perks, but I really loved how this turned out because I kind of took a risk and used the Realm of Magic windows and like seasons accents, like those seasons columns. So those are like craftsman columns, and the stone as well for the little chimney there, which, by the way, there's no actual fireplace in this build. I really like to do that, apparently. I love making chimneys with no fireplaces, but that's fine. And I don't know, I just thought like the woods worked really well together. These windows, I think, work really well for kind of like a, I don't know, less of a rustic Mediterranean style, if that makes sense. I have made a Mediterranean home with these windows before, but I used a different swatch. I think it was the stained glass swatch, and that looked really, really pretty. But for this build here, like the kind of curved ones, the curved windows that came with Realm of Magic, they have like a similar swatch, I want to say, probably one that matches, but I don't know, it just looked like it was kind of too much, especially with the columns and the flower boxes and the other little like window kind of decorations that I ended up putting on there. It just looked like way too much, so I just kind of kept them to that simpler kind of like wood pattern throughout. And in the front here I put a fountain, which is like basically almost half the size of the house, but no one's judging, right? Like it works. But I felt that it was necessary. I really like that kind of, I don't know, that accent to the landscaping in and of itself. I think it's really, really pretty, and I put a bunch of palm trees around here and just some patches of grass because this is actually on a lot, as you can see, that is in the grassy area of Oasis Springs. It's not on desert, and I didn't make it awkward by like just painting that desert plot with grass. Not that it can't be done, but I just did not want to do it. I wanted to kind of do it in more of a grassy area. And this house even has its own little pool in the back. I do kind of adjust the size as I figure out how to lay out the backyard, because at this point I didn't feel like moving the home closer to the front of the lot was really something I wanted to do, so I kind of had to make it the most of the space that I had left. And once I started playing with the landscaping a little bit more, I realized like, wow, yeah, there isn't really a lot of room if I want to make kind of like a smaller patio area too. So I kind of lay it out. It's basically this size, it's very small, and I use this fence, which I believe was from base game as well. I think it was, you know, meant to work for builds in this world, and I did have to kind of make the pool a little smaller. So it's not like your Sims are going to be doing any laps prepping for the Olympics in this pool, but they can at least enjoy a little dip in the pool to cool off, considering that I'm assuming it's very hot in Oasis Springs altogether. There's also an outdoor seating area and a grill, as well as 2 lounge chairs, and for the sake of transparency, I do not know if these lounge chairs actually, I don't know if they limit your Sim's ability to get to the grill. I completely forgot to playtest the grill until like right now-ish. So I'm hoping that it works fine. If it does not, just know that I will be adjusting kind of that layout before I upload it to the gallery. And now we are on the interior, which was, to be honest, a little challenging because this is just this big long room. Like I didn't really know how to fit the stairs, and I keep going back to it in my head like, oh my god, I wish we had gotten ladders. Like ladders or spiral staircases for a tiny living pack. That would have been perfect. I was watching LGR, i.e. Lazy Game Reviewer. I was watching LGR's channel, and he does a review on many, if not all, of the Sims packs, like when they come out, and he did a review on Tiny Living, and that's what he mentioned. Like this would have been an opportunity for the spiral staircases, as well as maybe like ladders, like functional ladders, as well as bunk beds, we all know, right? Like all of those things are perfect for smaller spaces because when you think about the Murphy beds, they're literally the same exact amount of tiles as a full bed. So I know we can put like flat items underneath it, but other than that, like maybe a yoga mat or a rug, but that's not a functional item. So yeah, it kind of stinks because it doesn't actually grant us more room. It kind of gives us the illusion that we're making more room in the house, and we're kind of not. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that? I'm kind of like just coming around to these conclusions as I listen to more reviews and engage in more conversation with, other simmers. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like there were a few missed opportunities, and don't get me wrong, I love the pack. Clearly, I'm having a blast. Like, clearly, I'm really enjoying the challenge of making these different tiered tiny homes, and I love the buy objects. Like, the build and buy objects are beautiful. I just think that there were a few missed opportunities there, so I'd be really interested to hear your guys' thoughts. And now that I've blabbed through all of that, as you can see, on the interior and working on the kitchen downstairs. So that bar stool there, your sim will not be able to sit there and eat. It honestly was really just for decoration. That's what I was trying to do. And there ends up being a table kind of like on the other wall, on the opposite wall, that's fully functional. Everything's perfect. And I was a little bit concerned about this stove being so close to these countertops, the island countertops, because I end up putting a dishwasher in the one with the stool. And I was really concerned that they weren't going to be able to either use the stove or the dishwasher. And I had my playtest self, my sim self, jump in there and test it out. And she was able to get to both of those appliances with no issues, which is really, really good to know, because when you kind of look at it, when you're looking at optimizing space, these counters are rather thick. So it can be a little bit of a challenge to make unique shapes that are still functional. So I was really happy about that. And this is where I put a little dining table. I think I end up keeping this one and using the Jungle Adventure chairs. So as you could probably see at this point, I used a good mix of Jungle Adventure and base game and, a few other packs as well. I never really restrict myself to certain packs unless that's my intention in starting a build in the first place. But yeah, I thought it came together really nicely. It was a little bit more rustic, yet somewhat refined. I don't know, the upstairs is a little bit more kind of like a hodgepodge of different items and kind of like different styles in a weird layout. You'll see when we get up there, but I don't know, I thought it looked really comfy, and I personally would love to live here. I'd say that about probably like any of the homes that I build, because I build homes that I like. But yeah, no, I would definitely live here. Like, I think it's really cute, and I just think it's really warm. Like, I really like the wood tones that I ended up going with, and as you can see, I mixed a few different wood tones. I wasn't really able to keep to one, just with the style of the items that I wanted to use, and just kind of like, I don't know, the different ways that they all fit together. So I really enjoyed it, and as you can see, I'm cluttering up that little kind of like wall decoration there with a bunch of plants because I thought that was really cute. I toss a rug down here and then jump into the bathroom, which is a full bathroom and actually has a stacked washer and dryer. I don't always add laundry in my games, but when I do, usually it's the stacked washer and dryer because I feel like that's the easiest way, kind of like the most space-saving way. Wink, wink. Think that's a good idea, right? Like, instead of making it the same amount of tiles of 2 tiles, one per appliance, you stack them. It's pretty wild, which we did a lot with the bookcases. I'm not gonna give the Sims team any flack. I appreciate the work that they put into this stuff, and I really do like that. I kind of want to reiterate that I really like that some of the decorative stacks of books have become functional bookshelves. Like, perfect opportunity. Like, that was well thought out. And now we're upstairs, and this is kind of the landing area, but it ends up being the living space. The last time I did an upstairs living space like this, I think was, oh wow, like maybe my Rosewood Villa, which was strictly base game and Island Living, when Island Living came out, I think. So I wanted to do that here again because I remember someone had told me that this was actually very common in areas that do get a lot warmer. I can't really recall, or it was that, yeah, maybe it was. I don't really know, like maybe the living space was upstairs, even though like when I think about it, it doesn't make sense because heat rises, so maybe that wouldn't make sense. Like, I don't know. Clearly, I'm not an expert, but I thought it was kind of a nice thing to do. Like, the kitchen was downstairs in the bathroom, but we'll do the living space upstairs, and then the bedroom is actually like pretty small. And I put some hanging plants here, and I used some of the kind of like, I know it's not the Island Living update, but it was the like the Caribbean update items here. There's some cats and dogs, there's some seasons, like there's a whole mesh of things, as well as the coffee table that we got with Tiny Living. And I don't know, I just really liked this space. Like the colors don't necessarily all match, and there's just kind of like a mix of different styles, but I just feel like it works. I feel like it looks, I don't know, I feel like it looks more real in a lot of ways. For me, I mean, I'm a psycho about things matching, so I don't know, maybe I'm a special little snowflake with that one, but like, I know that a lot of people kind of like pick up items here and there. They may not necessarily match, but it all comes together and looks really nice, and that was kind of my thought. And in the bedroom here, there is no wardrobe because I could not fit it, which we all know for gameplay is like not a problem, but it's just kind of a nice to have item. I tried, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to try because it seems to take up more room than it actually looks like it does, and I just wasn't about that. But then I just toss a chair in the corner and put up some wall decorations and just kind of play around with a few more things, but that is pretty much it for this build. So I don't know, I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. It was kind of thrown together, to be honest, very quickly, but I really like how it came out because I just kind of went with my impulse and didn't think about it, and that seems to be kind of how I'm building now. So if the style and the end result works for you guys, definitely let me know. But again, thank you guys so much for checking this out, and I will catch you next time I post a video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye!